Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerds Only podcast. You are here with your hairiest host, Mother Goose.
And your most inconsistent host, Cosmar.
The one and only.
The one and only.
Our king. Oh.
No, you're my king.
That was very loud. I'm sorry.
Our king.
Well, today we are going to be talking about Akira. Specifically the film. I haven't read the manga. Have you read the manga?
I have not.
Okay, so apparently, from what I know, is the film mostly follows the first half of the manga.
Interesting.
And then drastically changes the second half to like shove it into the last 20 minutes of the film.
Maybe that's why everything was so sporadic, I guess, in a way. Like everything happened super quickly. Wow. Okay.
So this is a film, I think it's one of the highest rated films of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's considered a classic. And I wanted to ask you, talking about films that are so highly adored, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of anxiety watching films like that because it's like, but what if I don't like it?
What if I don't fuck with it? Then what?
Yeah.
I didn't go into it too stressed because I just felt like this is going to be a good movie. Like it's going to be enjoyable to watch. And I felt like it was. I was very confident that the film would live up to its name.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it did. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. I did as well. 10 out of 10.
So we watched it together.
Mm-hmm.
And after, we were both feeling a little... I don't know what the symbolism of this was.
I don't know what any of this means.
So we both had some ideas, which we'll kind of talk about here in a minute. But did you get a chance to like watch any reviews or any content on it?
I haven't yet. I know Mom did a little bit.
Hell yeah.
We talked about that a little bit. But no, I haven't. So most of my opinions are going to be pretty bare bones. And also I'm sure there's people online with much better opinions.
Well, so I think we really got it. I think we got different aspects of it. There's one main theme that we missed, and we'll start with that one.
Okay.
The recklessness of youth.
Right? Interesting.
The only character whose name I can remember is Akira. Oh no.
Akira! Are you talking about, is his name Tatsuo?
Is that the one that gets the powers, red cape? Yeah. So I think he's a great representation of the recklessness of youth because he just spirals when he gets a little bit of power.
I know, like he's cool until those kids start messing with him a little bit, and then he's like, yeah, world domination, I'm bent on it. It's like, huh?
Who's gonna stop me?
Yeah, he starts killing his friends, he starts just killing random people. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
So the one thing that really stuck out to me was the connections to World War II, the nuclear bomb. We kind of talked about Godzilla and you know how that represents the danger of nuclear weapons. So I bet I definitely got those vibes. Something along those lines that hadn't quite clicked was his like giant baby form is supposed to represent the like deformities from radiation.
Oh wow.
Right?
That's crazy.
And then your two that really stuck out was the dangers of capitalism and the recklessness of humanity in developing weapons. Like you keep trying to push things further and further and they escalate way out of your control. So do you want to talk about either of those?
Yeah. No, I saw the dangers of capitalism a lot in this kind of in that cyberpunky vibe or era, and I really enjoyed that. I'm trying to remember specifically any moments that stuck out to me in that, but I can't think of any in particular.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of division, I think, in the city between like the High Council, the military, and then there was also the like biker gangs, and then Akira's cult.
Yeah. That I do remember, like the division between, or all that politics scene where they're sitting around the table and they're just all kind of yelling at each other. That kind of idea of like, these are all the most powerful people in the world. And then the military guy just takes over anyway. Like, he just kills the other politicians. And, you know, he has unlimited power. He can do what he wants.
Such a great conversation, because at the end of the day, yes, he was trying to do what was best for the city. And was it right for them to fire him? Maybe not. But then for him to overstep his power and just do what he wants anyway is, I think, a really great message on the power that generals hold.
Yeah. You know, I think it all kind of ties together in like the recklessness of youth, the kind of humanity's inability to handle kind of the power that they have, especially with like nuclear technology. This idea of, oh, we have this nuke, now let's just, you know, let's bomb it, let's use it however we want for the best we want. Because if we're gonna, because, you know, it's relating to Hiroshima and the bomb that was dropped on that. Because America's argument is the whole thing of, well, if we didn't bomb them, then they were going to keep attacking and casualties would have been so much higher.
Right.
So, like, in a way, it's like, yes, America did stop the war, but so many innocents dead.
Yeah.
Like, it was just this huge power play that maybe there could have been another way where so many lives didn't need to be lost.
Yeah. Like, I do think the other plan... Sorry to get a little political here.
Oh, yeah.
I can't.
Sorry, this is a political episode because Akira is a political.
Just in general.
Yeah, it's a political film.
I don't know the official plan, what its name was, but the U.S. and our allies did have a plan for storming Japan. And yes, casualties would have been far, far higher. And that was horrible. But I cannot agree with bombing civilians.
Yeah.
They could have hit any of the military bases. They didn't have to hit the cities. That's
I know. I do. This is again a 19, I'm a 19 now. A 19-year-old's opinion on politics. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, of course. But yeah, dropping it on one of the most populated cities was I think that's just a little too far.
Right.
And I think that's represented in this film, where it's like, you know, Tetsuo, he just wants to be the most powerful. He wants to have control. He kind of just beats down everyone to a pulp, which I think may be a representation of America. Tetsuo is kind of America like this. I have the unlimited power now. And
I do what I want.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to beat you until you can't get back up, which, of course, is a semi-skewed perspective. But still, I think the film did a good job of representing it.
Yeah.
And especially tying that in with the army general and him just doing what he wants and trying to appease, you know, Tetsuo. So that was, I really enjoyed that a lot. I think the symbolism worked really well there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to move us off of kind of symbolism, what did you think of the animation?
Oh my goodness. I loved this film's animation. I think this is going to be one of those films I watch that Fantastic Mr. Fox at least once every 4 months because I just love that film so much.
Yeah.
Akira is definitely going to be one of those films because the animation is just so pleasing to the eye. It's that, you know, 1980s or whenever the film was produced, like that era of animation is in Japan, you know, that's so fluid and it just has such a not exactly a Ghibli-esque vibe, but more of a, you know, the features are more rounded. The eyes are big. Like it's
got a little more grunge to it.
Yeah, exactly. And everything's just animated so well. Like the grotesque monster at the end, even though it's disgusting, the animation is incredible. Like I was watching it, I was like, this is so gross, but it was overcome by my amazement of like, I can't believe this is a real thing that people made.
Right?
Like, this is so bizarre. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Yes, it's disgusting, but man, it looks so dang good for being drawn. Like, it's wild. 10 out of 10.
Talking about the gross, like, monster, this movie does feature some gore, but I think it was handled very well. Like, you see some pretty gross things, but I feel like it fit tonally with the movie as a whole, and the animators crushed it. They didn't need to go so hard on some of those deaths.
I know. I feel bad for the animators. Like that part where Akira, he first hears the voice. Not Akira, sorry, Tetsuo. He first hears the voice of Akira. He like falls to his knees and all his guts fall out, and he's like trying to scoop his guts back into his belly. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Oh, and the cut, like he's scooping it back into his belly, and then it cuts back to the real world, and he's not injured, and he's just like scooping at
He's
the
just
air.
scooping the air. It's like, oh my gosh. This poor, like, Tatsuo was, I wonder, interesting. Sorry, I just got a random thought. It could be kind of like, It's interesting. I wonder if, because Tatsuo was initially afraid of everything. But like he was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who Akira is. And then once literally once the babies kind of quote unquote attacked or threatened him, that's when the tone shifted.
Right.
I wonder if it's kind of similar to this idea of America was afraid of entering into the world. Sorry to get political again. It'll be just real quick.
That's okay.
It's like this idea of America was afraid of entering into the war. Like they didn't want to. They didn't want conflict.
Yeah,
and
until they were attacked.
Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. And then it was like, you awaken the sleeping giant, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And that's when Tetsuo lost his shit. It kind of like popped in my eye. I was like, huh? I was like, so I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that's something I was kind of getting it from it, that I was just sitting here. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
No, I think that's a really good connection. And we both kind of had discussed maybe watching it again just because it's so deep. Mm-hmm. I don't believe either of us have had a chance to, right?
No, not yet.
So, again, these are just our kind of first impressions. There's probably some symbolism that maybe we're missing or haven't caught on to yet, but man, was this film just so good.
It was. Like, even though I didn't know what was going on, I was like, I know I just watched a great piece of media.
Yeah.
Like, it's a classic for a reason.
Right. And I think I'm probably going to put it top 5 at least, maybe, anime films, maybe even top 3.
I think I've only seen a few. I still love A Silent Voice more, but Akira's a close second.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. A Silent Voice is just so amazing. I don't think any film is gonna take that spot.
I don't think, especially any animated film, it's always gonna be A Silent Voice.
Yeah,
but no, Akira is incredible. Animation wise, definitely the best I've ever seen, and just as a like piece of story, what's it? I feel like there's a word for it. There might not be. Like literature in a sense, instead of just a book as opposed to literature. I feel like it's like a literature film or something like that, as opposed to just, a movie.
Right.
So as a literature film is what I'm just going to call it. It's incredible. Like 10 out of 10.
Yeah. We've talked about, I think it was on the podcast. I can't remember for sure or not, but film is in this really weird spot where it is art and it is entertainment at the same time. And I think the very best films do both. Like they're equal, right? I think there are lots of films that they're just entertainment. They're fun. There's explosions. There's cool fight scenes. They're great. Mm-hmm. And then there's pieces of art that are great because they are pieces of art and they're telling these deep stories about the world around us, and those are great as well. They can be a little stuffy. On the other hand, entertainment films sometimes lack substance, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the best movies balance both, and I think Akira does that.
Akira does it perfectly. Like I'm having to watch films for a Japan trip I'm planning to take, and one of the films we had to watch was The Seven Samurai.
Nice.
That movie was definitely like art. Like it told this deep, impactful story that made me feel a lot of emotions. And I loved that film, and it was incredible. But I say this in the kindest way, it wasn't entertaining.
Yeah.
It was I don't want to call it boring. It wasn't like I was having a good time necessarily. I was interested. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like I was reading a book almost, which still, amazing film. I'm not going to watch it again because I've gotten the value from it.
Yeah.
But Akira, like, I was entertained the entire time. I was like, they're in this Tokyo, whatever city, and it's cool. They're doing all the bike stuff, and the animation's incredible. while at the same time it's extremely thought-provoking, and there's this deep story with a deep message going on. I agree entirely that I think it balanced entertainment and art very well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought up Neo Tokyo because this is one of the films that was made, I think it was in the 90s, might have been the 80s, but the film actually takes place in 2019, which obviously is past. Akira didn't happen. Rip.
Yeah, fat rip. We didn't have the transcendent being.
But, so just in terms of looking at films that predict the future and what technology is going to look like, obviously Akira was wrong, but I actually think it was a lot closer than a lot of like predictive media is, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I think they caught most of it except for like the actual setting of the world itself.
Yeah,
like it's not as futuristic or I'm sure there's a word like neo architecture, basically,
Right.
like that cyberpunk-esque neon lights, tall skyscrapers. I don't think it's as similar to that as that. But other than that, I feel like it's fairly similar in how people act and kind of maybe the state of the world in a way.
Yeah.
I may need to do a little bit more research into Akira's setting before I make any huge claims, but I feel in that regard, I was like, hey, this feels like our time.
Yeah.
Except for the clothing and stuff because it's in the 90s. So.
Right.
But other than that, there wasn't like huge cybernetic implants. There wasn't anything like that. It was just they found a mystery, something that could allow people to transcend.
Right. And like the military still had they had like some laser guns and a giant space laser, which we don't have now, unless the military's lying.
Yeah, that's the second time I've seen a space laser in media. I think there might be some government.
Yeah.
I think there's a secret space laser in space somewhere.
But man, even just like the cities, like when you look at the city as a whole, obviously it's a cyberpunk city that does not exist. But when just like they're in the city, it just kind of looks like a city, right?
It does.
It just fit really well, more than like another good example would be Back to the Future. They go to the future. I think they go to, when did they go? Like
2015.
2015, yeah, and they have like hoverboards and stuff.
And they changed the weather.
Yeah, really, really far off. But I feel like Akira wasn't too bad. Wasn't too far off.
Akira, like, it wasn't as kind of futuristic, quote unquote, as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like, the only times I could tell it was a futuristic film was during, like, the space laser. But
Right.
the first half of the film is they're just kind of a biker gang. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that immediately screams, like, oh, this is cyberpunk. No, you can tell it's futuristic, but it wasn't over the top. It wasn't like everyone's practically robots and drones, are across the city and there's RoboCops going around. People were still people like they kind of are now. And I liked it. I was like, this is cool.
For sure. For sure. I don't know if I have much else I want to talk about. Is there anything else that you have?
No, I don't think so. It was peak film. Definitely recommend.
Ooh, ratings out of 5.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 too. Yeah.
It's just one of those films.
So good. And I don't like watching films too close together because I like burn myself out and then I'll never watch the film again. It's just the way my brain works. But I am really excited to be able to go back and watch it again soon.
I agree. Gonna give it a little bit more time, but I definitely do want to rewatch.
Yeah. Well, aside from Kira, is there anything you've been watching, reading, playing this week?
Been rewatching Invincible.
Hell yeah.
Been peak. Just I got halfway through the finale.
Nice.
Of season 1. Still peak. Still crazy. Love that show. And been playing a ton of Cyberpunk.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if I talked about Cyberpunk last time we did an episode. I'm not sure.
I don't believe so.
But yeah, I've been grinding on Cyberpunk. I've been sucked into the verse. This is my second playthrough, and I've been having a good time. I'm doing like a gunslinger build, and so I'm just like popping people's head off with one shot. It's peak. Literal peak. Peak! It's peak!
I know. Redemption of the decade.
I know, yeah. It's like, please, if you haven't given Cyberpunk a shot because of how bad it was on release, go give it another shot. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite game ever. Like, I love that game.
So maybe we don't go into details about what the endings are, but with this second playthrough, do you have an ending in mind that you're trying to get to?
Yes, I'm going for the secret ending, which
Okay,
is
hell
called
yeah.
Don't Fear the Reaper. I won't go into it a ton, but I think it's the best ending overall. You know, there's no happy endings in Night City,
Right.
but you can work with what you get.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna try to go for that ending, which there's very specific dialogue you have to choose. You have to have a certain relationship level with certain characters. It's kind of a complicated ending to get in a certain way. But anywho, if you haven't played Cyberpunk, play the game blind. Like, don't
Yeah.
look up how do I get this specific ending. Don't even like look up anything about the endings. Just play the game.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that's actually what ruined it for me. When I start getting to end game of games like that, I try and do just a little research to maybe nudge myself one way or another on what ending I want to go for. And I ended up learning way more than I wanted or should have. I went down the rabbit hole of all the endings, discovering that, there is no happy ending in Night City.
Yeah.
And it stole all my Steam. Mm-hmm. And I have not played since, aside from 5 minutes today before we started recording this podcast.
Okay, spoiler warning here. So just be prepared for Cyberpunk spoilers for one of the endings at least, because I just need to talk about it. When I first played through, I had no idea about any of the endings. I was just, because I love to play through games blind and see what lessons I learned just from my own head.
Yeah.
I don't like to look stuff up, especially for narrative-based games. So the ending I got was Where's My Mind, which is when you side with Arasaka. That left such a bad taste in my mouth because it was such a twist for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, okay, they're going to take Johnny back and it'll be fine. I cut this deal. Then they're going to save me and then I can just go back to living my life. I was like, if you want to get saved, you play with the biggest players. You know, they're top of the
Yeah.
They're at the top of the ladder. They're going to have all the resources I could ever need. And they promise to help, so I'll do this for them and they do this for me. And then, you know, I revived whatever his name is, Saburo, maybe. Do you know the ending?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you kill the son and then replace the dad is revived in the son's body.
Right.
Which is so bad for the world. Mm-hmm. He announces that he's immortal. So basically you've given one of the worst people in the entire verse immortality.
Yeah.
You also kill Johnny. Like, they take the shard and they just purge him. So that sucked. Mm-hmm. And there's this conversation where, like, I remember this. Like, this is a core memory for me. Johnny, like, brings up a chair and he sits down. And he's like, V, you gotta have principles. A little 16-year-old me was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Everything's going wrong. I hate this, you know? And I'm like, how did I end up here? And the conversation was just so applicable to the emotions I was having. Mm-hmm. So it was like, it felt like Johnny could tell this wasn't purposeful.
Yeah.
It was just so bizarre because I was like, what is going on? And Johnny was like, you tried your best, but you can't side with these people, you know? Like, even though the ending sucked and I found out I only have 6 months to live and I'm going to die anyways and all that stuff, the ending was so impactful to me because even though it wasn't a happy ending, I learned such a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
That people aren't always what they seem.
Right.
Like, it's not in like a bad or edgy way, like, oh, everyone's evil. Just like sometimes going with the most powerful people and cutting deals with those people who you think are going to help you more isn't worth it. Like, sometimes you need to side with your friends. Sometimes you just need to do it yourself. I remember how, even though the ending made me really sad and really upset, it taught me such a lesson that's deeply impacted me that it's just wild.
Yeah.
So I know there's a big thing about I want the happy ending, but even though there's no happy endings in Night City, the endings still matter. They still hit deep.
Yeah.
So good. Sorry. A little rant over. That moment was so impactful for me, and I was like, this game is the most amazing game. One of the most amazing games I've ever played. Like, even though the ending didn't make me feel good, I learned such a good lesson, and I feel like I actually experienced something.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, and I think once I kind of stopped playing, I went and watched all of the endings fully, and while I didn't necessarily get to that point, I do agree. They are all meaningful. They all matter to the world. And yeah, if you can, just play as blind as you can.
Yeah, I agree. Even though the endings are sad, like, that's just my advice for any game. Just don't don't know anything about the endings. Just allow your natural decisions to have their natural consequences, you know? And I think that's the best way to experience, at least for me personally.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
allowing these actions to run their course and see what the game developers created. Just smacked the heck out of my mic.
That's okay.
But yeah, anywho, peek, play it blind. Even though there's not a happy ending, the endings are going to matter to you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But what about you?
I have been on the opposite end of the spectrum, and I have been playing Nightingale, a steampunk game.
Sounds fun.
So, steampunk is not steampunk. You guys know what steampunk is. Nightingale is a steampunk multiversal traveling survival game.
Interesting.
So essentially, you wake up in the Feywilds, and this Fey is like, I'm gonna help you out. What's up? What's good?
What's good?
And you start in one world, and you figure out the basics of survival, and then essentially it opens up. It's not the they don't call it different universes. They call it realms, but it's the multiverse essentially. And you can go through portals to go explore other realms. So there's, I want to say 6 or 7 storied realms that are handcrafted campaigns that you go through as you're trying to get to this city called Nightingale. But then there are also just like procedurally generated universes that are just there for the survival aspect. You go to craft resources, fight enemies, stuff like that. And this is one that's been on my radar for a long time. And apparently it was hot, dookie, stinky garbage at launch.
Oh.
Just like Cyberpunk.
Classic.
But the devs have done a ton to update it. Like, the storied realms that I mentioned weren't in the game at launch.
Oh, wow.
The starting world that kind of helps you learn the basics of survival that I mentioned, not in the launch version. Just, I think they just throw you in a realm and say, good luck.
Oh, that doesn't sound enjoyable.
Yeah. So I'm really glad that I waited and I played now. Because it's a very unique game. It's a very fun game. Its survival mechanics are really easy to understand. I think the steampunk aesthetic is really cool. It's a nice balance, I think, with this game because, yes, it's steampunk, but it's not, like, overly done.
Yeah.
I think steampunk, at least for me personally, you hit a certain point and it's just kind of not fun to look at anymore.
It's like there's so much happening on my screen.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
But it's very like Victorian era inspired. So I would say it's more Victorian aesthetically than steampunk, but it's still a very nice mix.
Very cool. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So I'm not too far in, maybe like 5-6 hours, but I've really been enjoying it.
Nice.
And definitely one that I would recommend, audience, if you are looking for a new survival game.
Is it available on all platforms?
Ooh, that's a very good question. No, it is only available on Steam. Well, it might be available on like Epic Game Store, whatever. But it's a PC exclusive at the moment.
Okay. PC exclusive, and is it multiplayer or just single player?
It is multiplayer, but there is an offline mode, also not available at launch.
I see.
I've heard that there are some issues with the servers, that it's gotten a lot better since launch, but if you try multiplayer and you don't enjoy it, they've made it so that you can very easily switch your multiplayer character over to offline mode, and you can just seamlessly continue from where you were.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a survival game, so, you know, the story's not very deep, there's not a lot to talk about there, but still very enjoyable.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk about before we exit, Minecraft Live.
Minecraft Live.
Did you watch it?
I did not.
Have you seen some of the new content?
I have not. Is it something cool?
Yes.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, so Spring to Life just came out. And this, I think, is a very good update, but it's not crazy. It's quality of life stuff. Cactuses now have flowers sometimes. Leaves fall from the trees. We got our fireflies, finally, firefly bushes. And then we got cow, chicken, and sheeps now also have a cold and warm biome variant.
Interesting.
So just nothing crazy, but I think some minor quality of life stuff that's going to improve the game. We are going to get shaders finally for console. That's not out yet, but that's going to be coming soon.
Nice.
But the big thing is the happy ghasts.
The happy gas.
So you can find what's called a dried ghast in the Nether. And essentially it's this dried up baby ghast that you can mine and break.
So you take its corpse.
Yeah. But you can put it in the overworld and you put it in water and it comes back to life.
Oh.
And then you feed it snowballs, and over time it grows to normal ghast size. And you can put a saddle on it and fly around the overworld.
That's crazy.
Right?
Is that I think I actually did see a thing about like gas cry in the Nether to keep their babies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, why did they do this to me?
Dude, that is okay. That's cool. I'll definitely be doing that one. I haven't played Minecraft in forever, but I'll play Minecraft to
Experience that.
get a ghast.
Yeah, so we knew because of one of the achievements, the Uneasy Alliance achievement says return a ghast home and then kill it, essentially.
Oh.
But it's that phrasing, return it home. So we've known for a long time that ghasts were not native to the Nether. However, now that we know that they're supposed to eat snowballs,
They're just chill fellas, man.
it makes me so sad because how did they get there? And like, no wonder they're attacking us. They must be so scared. They're supposed to be snowy animals and they're trapped in hell.
They're literally having to cry to basically keep themselves alive.
I know.
Oh, man.
Mojang!
Mojang, when I catch you, Mojang.
So, as excited as I am, if you can't tell, I've been having some pretty big feelings about the happy ghasts.
Oh, that is crazy. That's so cool.
One of the, I think, coolest aspects of it is you can essentially stop your gas midair, and then you can stand on it, and then you can use it to build.
Oh.
So I think it's going to revolutionize survival building.
That'll be neat. That'll be nice. You don't have to build up these huge pillars anymore, all that stuff.
Get out of here, scaffolding.
Yeah. Be gone.
I got my gas.
That's so cool.
Also, I'm calling him out. I'm doxing him.
Oh, we're doxing him.
We're doxing him.
Yeah, everyone call whatever the Mother Goose is about to say.
There's a creator on TikTok. His name is Danny C. C is in the ocean. He went and got a ghast. He brought him back. Okay? Raised him up. Put a saddle on him. Took him back to the Nether.
Oh.
As an adult. Took the saddle off and abandoned him there.
Unforgivable.
Danny, when I catch you.
Danny, when I catch you, Danny. Yeah, we got to beat up this man. How dare you? How dare you?
Dude, I lost it when I saw that video.
Why would you do this?
Anyway, I just, between the Creaking update last year, which, added Weeping Angels essentially to the game, and the Happy Ghasts and shaders, I think Microsoft is, or not Microsoft, but Minecraft, Microsoft Mojang Minecraft is, I think we're going to see another really big resurgence here in the next few months.
Yeah.
I think with the movie building up hype for it, and like I said, the shaders, the gas, I think we're going to see some huge things going to pop off content creation wise, be it maybe another thing like PewDiePie when he did his survival world that brought a bunch of people back into the game, or maybe it's going to be another like Dream SMP kind of thing. Some big creator's going to pop off in the next, I'm going to say 4 months, and Minecraft servers are going to be flooded.
Hell yeah. That'd be sick, honestly. I'd be down for a Minecraft resurgence.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Hell yeah. But that's just a theory.
Okay. Wait,
Okay.
is that patented? Is that what that's called? Is that like will we get sued?
A game theory. Try me, Matt Pat.
Yes.
Try me.
Sue me, Matt Pat. Then I can
I
talk
have
to you in person.
$5 in my bank account.
Yeah.
You take it from me, it'll just be another Tuesday.
I'll be another lawyer. I mean, I'll be myself. Call me Matt Murdock, the way I'm lawyering out here.
Oh man. Anyway, I think that was everything I wanted to talk about this week. Did you have anything else?
I think that's all good for me.
Hell yeah. Well, audience, thank you so much for listening. If you can leave us a review wherever you're listening, that would help out a ton. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, remember to like, share, and subscribe and comment, baby.
Or else.
Also, love yourself today. Drink a glass of water.
You deserve to be happy.
You do. You do.
Yeah.
Now go have a great day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.